Okay.
I'll match your 1 million and raise you 4.
Reckless, Mr. Bond. Very reckless. All in.
Would you like something to drink, sir?
Vodka martini. Shaken, like my friend here, but not stirred.
All in.
Full house. Jacks over queens. Mr. Overbar. Four aces. Mr. Overpar wins.
Sorry, Mr. Bond. It appears as though your luck has run out. What so briefly was yours is now mine.
I need a break.
We will take a short recess. Please be back to the table at 5 p.m.
And I don't need to tell you, Mr. Bond, to bring some more budget. Perhaps you can sell some small business unit.
All right, hey, Q2, this is bad. I've been poisoned. I don't want your usual trick. Something's got to work here. I could be dead by the end of this demo.
You can't. I am always bailing you out of these messes.
Well, that's your job. I get the bad guys, you do the tech. Come on, I'm dying here.
I think I could probably catch the bad guys without agents. I mean, maybe with a fleet of drones or something like that.
Come on, you're killing me, literally. Come on, let's go.
Well, here we have our environment. And since this is a relatively new Q Cave or Q Lab, we're kind of on set here in Vegas. The first thing we're going to do is create a new environment.
Now, what are we, actually, before we do it, what are we actually looking at here? This is not something I recognize, as tech savvy as I am.
Tech savvy, you say? Is that what we call it now?
Relatively speaking.
Okay. Well, this is an open source project called Rancher that we've integrated with several of the EMC code projects. And the first thing we're going to do is create an environment to spin up some on-prem bare metal infrastructure.
Okay, so you're going to use open source to save my life?
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I feel terrible.
You feel terrible? Feel good about it. You'll be okay.
All right.
So the first thing we're going to pick is our container orchestrator, which is Mesos. We're going to give it a reasonable name here. And we're going to go ahead and create the environment. Now, once we have the environment registered and active, we can go and deploy some infrastructure. Now, we've sort of done a little bit of work here and used RackHD along with Rancher's Docker machine interface.
Oh, before you go on, RackHD.
I know it's complicated for you, but we'll slow it down.
All right, please. Abbreviate it. RackHD, come on.
Okay. RackHD is a tool to deploy your workflows on bare metal hardware. It's bare metal provisioning. We take hardware out of the box, we put it in the rack, and now we put an operating system
And this is
on
what,
top.
an EMC product?
This is an open source project we've done through EMC Code, and was actually an acquisition from EMC.
Okay, all right, so we're fully open source here.
Yeah, it's all open source. You feeling good still?
Keep going.
So we're going to connect our Docker machine interface from Rancher to Rack HD. Now, since you're dying over here, I've done this already, but I'll show you how easy it is to do. You just fill out a few fields, click Create, and the interface is activated. Now that we have Rack HD connected, we can go back and we can deploy some hosts. This is as simple as a few mouse clicks. We click Hosts. I think maybe for your toxicity level, I think 10 boxes should do the trick.
You mean you can assess how much compute is needed just by eyeing me up and down?
Yeah, it's an old open source trick. So we fill out a few fields here, and we go ahead and we click Create. Now these machines are being provisioned on-prem with compute and network, and as they get provisioned here, we'll do the next part, which I know is your favorite.
So Rack HD, so you've gotten physical hosts, now managed by Rack HD, provisioned into a cluster.
That's right.
I've got it. See, I'm getting this thing.
You're getting there.
I'm getting there.
We can go back and slow down if you need it.
The thing that we're missing, though,
Yeah, what are you missing?
the center to the whole universe, we're missing storage.
Storage. I'm glad
Right.
you brought that up. So let's go ahead and deploy storage. Now, instead of deploying a hardware array or something like that and having to go backstage and plug it all in, we simply deploy it with software. So I have Scale.io here, one of our best software-defined storage products. We fill out some reasonable defaults in these fields, and now we deploy Scale.io. And you can see the stack actually being deployed here. If we switch back over to the infrastructure, you can see how all of this Scale.io pieces are deployed in containers onto the infrastructure.
So the Scale.io software now is just automatically being kind of sprayed onto the nodes in that cluster.
Yeah, that's exactly
no
right.
no admin required. Just
It's so easy you could do it if I wasn't here.
it makes me feel better. I could save myself.
But we have one more thing we need to do. We need to connect the storage array to the cluster orchestration. We picked Mesos earlier, and so what we need to do is bridge the gap between Mesos and the Scale.io storage. And I have just the thing for that as well. EMC Code releases an open source project called RexRay that deals with storage orchestration. And I can deploy RexRay just as easily as I deployed Scale.io. A few clicks, a few defaults, and we're off and activating that array.
So let me get this right. This is the storage abstraction layer that connects it directly up to the container, and the container is where the application is running, and that's the thing that is going to save my life.
Let's hope so.
All right.
So now we can see that RexRay is fully provisioned across all of the nodes in the environment. It's correctly connected to Scale.io. And I think probably we should deploy an application to save your life.
Yeah, you probably should.
I should probably get there.
You should probably get there.
right.
I could drop dead any moment, and you don't seem the most bit worried.
I'm not.
All right. here
So we
go.
have the app called Poison Ivy. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to deploy it just like we've deployed everything else. And as that stack is activating, we can flip back over to the infrastructure tab, and now I can see that the Poison application has been deployed across all 10 nodes.
So at some point here, we're going to get a diagnosis and a recommendation for my potentially fatal poisoning.
I mean, I could just let you drop dead. I don't have to say anything else.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
All right, so now that the application is deployed, let's flip back to the Spy HUD and see where we're at with analyzing the toxin in your body.
I'm looking fairly buff on there.
Oh, yeah. You like that? We kind of took those measurements many years ago.
HIP red ink, I knew it.
Thankfully, it seems that it's not going to be toxic. Let's see if we have an anecdote. So we're going to analyze the poison here. We're going to see if we can come up with a good anecdote for you. Luckily, I understand that this poison is not toxic. It just slows down your innovation.
There you go.
And the anecdote, luckily for you, is EMC 5-hour innovation drink.
So I drink this.
Just throw that back, and I think that you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I could be a little bit wired for the next
Yeah, I know.
couple of hours, but that's good. Fantastic. So life saved, all done by Scale.io, Mesos, Rancher, what else? RexRay.
RexRay and Rack HD.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Q2.
Save your life yet again.
Round of applause.
Welcome back to our little game, Mr. Bond.
Overpar. Luck run out and started cheating again?
Let's just say we will do whatever it takes to get our hands on EMC's blueprint for innovation. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. You know, the usual bad guy stuff. What you are looking at is the peak of our innovation.
I see you're still firmly in the red.
Choose your next weather season carefully, Mr. Bond. It may be your last. This is an HIP Enterprise laser jet, which requires extraordinarily expensive ink. It's how we keep our little organization afloat.
Float on a sea of red ink, I see.
Very clever, Mr. Bond. But if you don't tell me where to find EMC's blueprint for innovation, this laser jet will demonstrate soon how vulnerable EMC's best assets really are.
Oh, Pa, do you expect me to talk?
Why, no, Mr. Bond. I expect you to lie. Eventually, you will tell me the truth. I'm sure.
Q2? Bit of help, Q2. Q2!
I'm always saving this guy's bacon. It's just getting to the point to be ridiculous at this point. But I think I have just the thing to help him. If we come back to the environment that we deployed earlier, I think I probably can help save Bond. Let's go back to the catalog and see if I have another trick up my sleeve. Right here, I happen to have just the thing. This is an application called Hacking the LaserJet, ironically enough. And we can simply fill out a few things, put in that printer's IP address, and click the launch button like we've done so many times in the past. Just like that, the application is deployed across the entire environment. Now, I think that Bond here is probably in a little bit of trouble, and I'm not so sure that these 10 nodes are going to do the trick this time. So let me add some hosts, and since I don't have any on-premise, I'm going to grab some from the cloud. I have my handy-dandy spy cloud here. I'm going to connect some things together. How many nodes do we think we need? I think 5 should do it this time. Let's hope. We fill out a few names, give it our access token, and now I can add 5 new nodes to this infrastructure. What makes this capability truly unique is these 5 nodes are connected to my on-prem infrastructure with the network and the storage. I've expanded the data lake and my network capacity out to the cloud almost transparently. And with that, I think the application has been deployed. Let's see if we had any luck. Going back to the spy HUD here, the packet injection's running. I have everything else going on. Everything looks good. And thankfully, I hope that we got through in time. We triggered a low ink warning. Let's see if Bond made it out alive here. Bond? Bond?
You took your time there.
What?
I think you've ruined my trousers.
What?
And you got that done faster.
What happened?
What happened? I mean, thankfully, it's only my trousers that are ruined.
Yeah, and yeah. Are you
Man.
okay otherwise?
So you got me out of that? That was you?
Yeah, that was me, as always.
All right, well, look. Begrudgingly, I have to say thank you.
It's about time I got a little thanks around here.
All right, it's not once, but twice you saved my life, so let's give him a round of applause. Q2, known as Josh Bernstein.